What is up, guys? Just a couple of days away from game day. I really can't wait. In this video, I want to show you guys 4 different short form videos I made for Bleacher Report this week. It'll essentially be discussing record predictions, chances of winning the AFC South, 5 players that I think need big years for the Jaguars in 2025, as well as a Panthers preview. Without further ado, let's get it. It's game week. Let's go week to week and predict what the Jaguars record will be. Home versus Carolina, given how difficult the schedule starts, this is a must-win game for the Jaguars, and they're just better than the Panthers. Give me a win. At Cincinnati, although the Bengals are 2-6 in the first 4 weeks of the last 2 seasons, Cincinnati is still a hard team. I have a loss against the Bengals. Home against Houston, top dogs in the AFC South. The Jaguars have not beat them at home since 2017, but let's give me a W here. At San Francisco, the Jaguars have 5 straight losses against the 49ers. It's not going to change here. I'm giving the Jags an L. Home against the Kansas City Chiefs, the Jaguars have 8 straight losses against the Chiefs and no wins since 2009. Why does this have to be our only primetime game? I'm giving us an L. Home against Seattle, time to go back to 500. The Jaguars win. At home against the LA Chargers, big time revenge game here for both Liam Cohen and James Gladstone. I have the Jaguars with a W. After the bye week, the Jaguars go to Las Vegas, and I'm going to give the Jaguars a W. In Houston against the Texans, the Jaguars are not good enough to sweep this team. I got the Jaguars for an L. Chargers first time being in Jacksonville since the big comeback in the playoffs. I got the Jaguars with a W. In Arizona, I had the Jaguars with a tough West Coast game. Give the Jaguars an L. In Tennessee, I think in the back half of the season, the Titans will be a lot better than the first half. I unfortunately had the Jaguars with a loss. Home against the Colts, where the Colts have not won since Chad Henne was a starter in 2014. Give me a W. Home against the Jets, I have the Jaguars winning. In Denver, in December, it's going to be tough. It's going to be cold. It's a mile-high elevation. Give the Jaguars a loss. In Indianapolis, I'm as low as they come about the Colts, but I think the Colts do wind up winning this game, so in loss for the Jags. Round things out at home against the Titans. No way we were getting swept by the Titans. Give the Jaguars a W. This puts the Jaguars at 9-8. Is this good enough to make the playoffs? Unfortunately, I would probably doubt it. In no particular order, let's talk about the 5 Jaguar players I have the most to prove in 2025. Number 1 is linebacker Devin Lloyd. Going into his 4th year, the Jaguars decided to pick up Trayvon Walker's 5th-year option, but not Devin Lloyd's. Now, oddly enough, Devin Lloyd actually does grade pretty well on PFF, but I think people that watch most of his games feel like he's a little bit unimpressive. While he is pretty good in run support, he gets lost in coverage a lot, so a lot of it's just about understanding where he needs to be and just having the right coaching fit. He's in a contract year, so he needs a big year if he wants James Gladstone to grant him a new contract. Number 2 is Travis Hunter. Now, Travis Hunter did not ask to be drafted number 2 overall, and he also didn't ask the Jaguars to trade away a first-round pick to move up to get him. So there's a lot of expectations from just that alone. But also, you got to think, no cornerback has ever been drafted number 2 overall, and no wide receiver has been drafted number 2 overall since Megatron. You draft a hybrid here because you think that he is going to add another dimension to your team. If he turns into a lockdown cornerback and a great number 2 wide receiver behind Brian Thomas Jr., this pick will be a home run. Number 3 is Tyson Campbell. Now, last year, Tyson Campbell, before the season, signed a 4-year, $76.5 million extension. We celebrated that extension by getting hurt in week 1. Tyson Campbell is a player that seemingly gets hurt every year, and it's always some kind of soft tissue thing. Heck, he played 1 drive in a preseason, and he somehow managed to get dinged up. When Tyson Campbell is on the field, he's a great player, but he just has issues staying on the field. Number 4 is left tackle Walker Little. Now, he is going into his 5th year on the Jaguars, but really his first year that he's able to start at his natural position at left tackle in week 1. After Cam Robinson was traded last year, the Jaguars turned around, made him the starter, and actually gave him a 3-year extension. But lots of fans question whether or not he will be the future at left tackle for the Jags. A lot of people feel like they can maybe upgrade in the years to come. Now, Walker Little is very good in pass protection, but he needs to be better in the run game, and I just think he needs a lot more aggression to his game. And finally, number 5 is Trevor Lawrence. And look, everybody has their own opinions on Trevor Lawrence, but one thing that I think everybody can unite in thinking is that whether you're a skeptic or whether you're a believer, Trevor Lawrence needs to have a big year in 2025. Now, I want to give a huge shout out to this channel's sponsor, and that is the Sleeper app. And as a lot of you guys know, Sleeper has been really one of the leaders of the industry for many, many years, especially in fantasy football. I know this because I set up 2 different guillotine leagues, or chop leagues is what they call them on Sleeper, and everybody had a Sleeper account already, so that was pretty cool. But one thing a lot of people don't know is that Sleeper actually has daily fantasy sports as well. So it's like player pick'em. So you go there, you see a stat line, and you say if they go higher or lower than what that number is. So lots of cool stuff there. I put in this entry for the Jaguars on this upcoming Sunday. So if you guys want to get in on the mix, promo code UCFJAG will double your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Can the Jaguars win the AFC South for the first time since 2022? Let's talk about it. Now, the Titans were 3-14 last year, and make no mistake about it, they are right in the middle of a rebuild. In my opinion, they should have committed to a rebuild last year instead of signing Calvin Ridley to a lot of money and trading a second-round pick for L'Jarius Sneed. They went 3-14 on accident as opposed to actually intentionally kind of being bad. Now, Titans fans are really excited about Cam Ward. I think the Titans will struggle in the first half of the season. Then the back half, they start to rally some wins together, but I do believe that they will be a bottom dweller in the NFL this year. Now, the culture about as boom or bust of an NFL team, I think there is this year. If they make the playoffs, I think everybody stays, and Daniel Jones probably gets an extension. But if they don't go to the playoffs, and especially if things look very bad, I think everybody's gone. I mean, they already have new ownership. Chris Ballard has been there forever. Shane Steichen, a few years here and there, but they're probably going to want to clean house, especially since Anthony Richardson did not work out. I think they're a team that will probably win around 6 to 8 games this year. Now, everybody is looking up at the Houston Texans right now, back-to-back AFC South champions. They have the franchise quarterback in CJ Stroud, #1 wide receiver in Nico Collins, and easily a top 3 defense in the NFL. Last year, they didn't go very far because, let's face it, they had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. CJ Stroud was struggling mightily because of that. But they went out and got a new offensive coordinator in Nick Caley, and they have a new offensive line coach in Cole Popovich. So can this unit be the missing piece to really push this team forward? The Texans' goal should no longer be just to win the AFC South. They want to be able to contend with the Bills, with the Chiefs, with the Ravens, but they haven't gotten over that hump in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. If I'm a betting man, I probably have the Texans winning the AFC South again. Now, we talk ad nauseum about the Jags over here, but let's face it, I think this all comes down to two things. I mean, the Jaguars have a lot of talent. I don't think they're short of that, but I think it comes down to the play of quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Can he really play to the elite top 5, top 10 quarterback that we would expect out of him? And secondly, will the players buy into what Liam Cohen is selling, right? It's more about just having a right offensive scheme. It's about rallying these guys. It's about building a culture. Can Liam Cohen be that guy to push the Jags forward and not only make the playoffs, but do it back-to-back years? Time will only tell. The most fun preview of the year, week 1 against the Carolina Panthers. Let's get it. Now, I rarely ever call week 1 a must win, but have you guys taken a look at the gauntlet that is to come? After the Panthers, the Jaguars had to play the Bengals, the Texans, the 49ers, and the Chiefs. I can pretty much guarantee you that the Jaguars will be underdogs in all of those games. So with this game against the Panthers, it is a battle of former Tampa Bay offensive coordinators. Danny Canellas was the Bucs OC in 2023 and Liam Cohen in 2024. Now, some strengths about the Panthers is that they have a much improved offensive line. They've been improving it a lot, especially through free agency the last couple of years. Also, their wide receiver investments. I mean, last 2 drafts, they've invested first-round picks into Tet McMillan and Xavier Legette. And finally, Bryce Young had a lot of improvement over the final 6 to 7 games of the 2024 season. So let's see if he can carry that momentum. Now, some weaknesses. Now, if you thought the Jaguars defense was bad last year, take a look at the Carolina Panthers. They were dead last in yards allowed per game and dead last in points allowed. Also, there is a severe lack of a pass rush in Carolina. I mean, can you name any of the edge rushers for the Carolina Panthers? And no, Brian Burns is currently playing for the New York Giants. And number 3, while Bryce Young could be a strength when it comes to how he ended last season, he is still very inconsistent, and he was even benched at some point in 2024. But with all that said, the Jaguars are the better team, so I have the Jaguars winning.